The student's boss wants them to go on camera during a virtual meeting, even though they have cancer. You will be shocked by what comes next. For the story, you need to know 2 important facts about the past. 1. I was told at the start of this year that I had a rare form of ovarian cancer. I had surgery and some chemotherapy, and I'm mostly better now. I still have to go in for tests, often and monitoring sometimes. My parents know about the relationships I've had for years without telling them, so you can bet that random coworkers and bosses don't know about my medical background. 2. There is a mentor program at the school I go to. If you have a good enough GPA, you can basically interview for the program. If you get in, they will pay for your school while you are an ambassador. You work 5 hours a week and help out at events like graduation. I am a member of this group. This is my story. It sounds like Law and Order. The majority of the time I've spent with Miss M, my ambassador program boss, she has put down me. It's making me mad to think about going over some of the details of our relationship again as I type this, so I'll keep it short and sweet for both of us. She strictly follows all the rules and doesn't allow anyone to work together or talk. We use Microsoft Teams to talk to each other, and she makes our 20-person group clock in and out by saying I'm here and I'm leaving, so every day you have to read through dozens of messages to find something important and listen to sounds every time someone even takes a lunch break. I suggested that Teams use the time clock feature and even offered to set it up for us. She told me I was intentionally making her look bad. One more quick example is how angry she got when I told her I didn't have any social media to promote the college. She was so sure I was lying that she asked the other representatives to look for me. They didn't. You can't find anything. What a crazy idea. There were times when I pushed her, but I eventually realized I was losing, and it would be best for me to keep my head down, as amused by the dramatic irony. Now let's go back to Friday, 4 days ago. The college dean will talk to the delegates in a virtual event on Monday, 3 days from now. The event will also be live streamed on the college's website and YouTube channel. Miss M sent a message, and I'm going to copy and paste it here because the way it was formatted makes me laugh. The students need to turn off their phones and turn on their cameras. Read that again. Do not be rude, lady. Use bold, caps, or italics. I almost had a stroke when I got your email. I got back to you that same day. Miss M, I'm sorry, but I have to go to the doctor right now and won't be able to turn on my camera during the event. Not an answer. To follow up, I sent another email. Not an answer. The big day comes around. 10 minutes ago, I sent her a direct message through Microsoft Teams. With a red receipt, I can see that she saw the letter. Nothing. Okay. When video chat starts, a number of students join with their cameras turned on. The dean came next. Miss M cuts him off in the middle of introducing himself. He pauses for a moment and then says, "Excuse me, could all of the students please turn their cameras on? There's nothing I say, I just type a quick reply and send it in the group chat. Miss M, I can't turn on my camera because of a personal matter. I've already talked to you about it." It wasn't long after I sent it before my name was called, and I answered, "Miss M, right now I can't turn on my camera." She tells him, "Expectations were clear, and you were told this more than once. It was possible for every other student here, and I expect the same from you. One cool thing about having cancer is that you get to know the people who work at the hospital really well. If you're lucky, they're also fun to talk to. During COVID, my staff kept me sane because no one could visit me while I was getting inpatient infusions. I told Amy, one of my nurses, about this ahead of time. She joked that I should really act sick if she told me to turn on my camera. If it were any other time, I would have been totally against it, but sweet payback was on the way. When I think about it again, I picture that anime fist-clenching scene when the main character decides to get payback. I moved my laptop a little farther away and propped it up on my leg so you could see the whole of me in my hospital dress. Teams will make the person who is talking the biggest picture in chat. The only people with sound on were me, the dean, and Miss M. When I turned on my camera, I saw myself while the EKG was loudly going off. Thanks, Amy. Keep quiet. Me. I asked Miss M by email and Teams if I could turn off my camera, but she wouldn't let me. I waited a beat to see if anyone would speak up, and then I kept singing my unique mix of over-the-top thanks and shakiness caused by illness. These days, virtual interaction is a big part of how we learn. I can see why it's important to have the camera on, but I was thinking I could get away with it. Dean, you are welcome to turn off your camera, Miss R. I'm so sorry about the confusion. Me. Thanks so much for going out of your way to help me. This has been a tough week, but I'm glad to be here. After that, 2 people hang up. Tony, who works for Miss M, and Miss M were the 2 people. I didn't know he was going to be there. I haven't heard from either of them yet, but I'm looking forward to hearing from them soon. It's the holiday season, so I'm thankful for many things as I type this from the hospital. I'm living in here. I'm still going to put a bully in their place, even though I have this stupid disease. TLDR, I had to go in to be checked out for a different but related disease while I'm still recovering from cancer. A school program boss told me I had to turn on my camera for a live-streamed virtual event. When I did, I saw that I was very much in the hospital. It gets funny, so play music from a show. Let's move on to story 2. A recent DNA test showed that 4 of my 5 children are not really mine. Women shouldn't keep quiet because it doesn't help. I'm sorry if this is the wrong question to ask. The mod told me to ask about our parenting instead of our relationships because the other thread was locked. But I also need help with my marriage and how to deal with my wife, so I'm asking for help here too. To begin, I'm sorry if this gets too long ands. But I'm not in the best mood right now. For the past 2 weeks, my whole world has been turned upside down. I just want to give as much information as I can so I can get the best help. I'm not ready to talk about this with my friends, parents, or relatives yet, for obvious reasons. Background. My wife and I got married in college, but we met in high school. Together we have 5 beautiful kids. I really do think they're a blessing, no matter what I'm about to say, and I thought we had the perfect marriage until a few weeks ago. We were like most high school sweethearts, we hang out together and never fight. Like a good husband, I think I've done everything. I'm not saying this to make myself sound like the perfect husband. For example, my job has always required me to work long hours, so I may not have always been there for her when she needed me. But I want to stress that I've never thought our marriage was in trouble. Also, I would have never thought my wife would be unfaithful because she's always done everything she could to help me and take care of our kids. This is my oldest daughter, who just got back from a DNA test. And the results of the DNA tests made it very clear that I wasn't her father. She told me about it in private and showed me the results. I could tell this made her angry. It was only natural that the first thing I did was tell her that I would always love her, because she is my daughter. However, my partner and I chose to get a legal paternity test instead of an ancestry test because the ancestry tests aren't always accurate. It comes back, and I'm not her actual father after all. I'm really sad about this news. I feel bad that I cried in front of my daughter. I found out that my wife had been cheating on me, and saw how upset I was making my daughter by how I was acting. I wish I had kept it from her, but I didn't. After that, I told all of my kids but the youngest to come see me. I wanted to know how bad my wife's cheating was. After all these years, if it was just a one-time thing, I might be able to get past it. But I didn't want to tell my teenage daughter, because she is still in school. And I really didn't think it was right to tell her yet. We tell the other 3 what took place. I tell them I love them no matter what, and will always be their dad, but I need to know how long this has been going on for. It's so moving, I can't even begin to describe it. They didn't care that I wasn't their real father, they were just mad at how sad I looked. Being supported by them all the time has been the only thing that's kept me going these last few weeks. So DNA tests have been done on all 3 of them. There are 3 different dads for the 4 kids I have, so none of them are my real children. That made things worse. It was like she wasn't just having one affair, she was having several. It's not clear to me how this makes things worse, but it does. When I tell my wife this, I expect her to admit it and ask for forgiveness. She doesn't say sorry. She doesn't even care about it. She says there must be something wrong with the test. 4. What the hell am I supposed to believe that? I keep bringing it up, but she brushes it off, which makes me more and more angry. She will try to make me feel bad about it when I bring it up. We've been together since high school, so why don't you trust me? There is so much proof against her, though. How can I trust her? Now that I've talked a lot and told you what happened. I guess I should ask you straight out, how can I convince my kids that this won't change anything between us? When I've had complete breakdowns, I think it's made them question this, no matter how many times I comfort them. What should I do with my littlest daughter? I think our marriage can't be saved, and I need to talk to my daughter about it. I don't want her to understand the truth too soon. My wife shouldn't lie to make me look like the bad guy, though. Do you think I should or could save my marriage in any way? My wife and I have been together our whole lives. It's hard to imagine what life would be like without her. I know the clear answer is to leave her, but we have 5 kids together. I want to give it real thought if there's anything that can be done to save our marriage. At least 4 of my 5 kids are not mine. Teal doctor. My wife won't admit she's cheating on me. I don't know what to do to make my home and children better. Also, I want to thank everyone for their help and suggestions. No, I haven't responded to all of your comments as quickly as I should have, but I have read them all and will do what you say. I will keep reading any messages or notes you send me. To say it again, I'm so grateful for all your help. If this is fixed, I might post an update, but if she keeps lying, I don't think I'll try because I don't have much more to say. Taking into account the suggestions in this and the arch parenting thread, I have chosen to get a second test in case of an accident. Face my wife with all 4 of my bigger children present, and then tell my youngest what's going on. Check with her to see if she wants a DNA test. She will be the only one who can decide. I'm definitely going to do some kind of treatment. In the last 2 weeks, my mental health has been getting worse, and I need to keep it together for my kids' sake. I haven't ruled out counseling for my wife, but it will depend on whether she tells the truth and what her reason is, if any. But right now I think we'll be getting a divorce unless she changes her mind in a big way. Talk to a lawyer about getting a divorce, just in case. Again, I want to thank all of you for taking the time to encourage me and offer your help. I guess I should answer some questions that people have had. How did Ancestry show that I wasn't her father? My whole family is Irish. My close family is the only family I have outside of Ireland, and I even have the typical red hair. The DNA test for my daughter didn't show any ties to the British Isles, Western Europe, or Northern Europe. That's what raised red flags, but it's not proof, which is why the paternity tests were done. Which 2 kids have the same dad? The father of my 2 oldest girls is the same. What did your wife do to get you kids? We didn't plan to have our oldest girl. The rest were all planned. Each time we got pregnant after trying for a few months. We came up with the plans for our first 3 children together. But she pushed me to have our youngest. She was in her late 30s and wanted one more kid before it was too late. In the end, I gave in. We started trying to have a child a few months before she was born. Can't you have children? I'm not sure. An egg test has never been done on me. But the fact that none of the kids we were going to have are mine makes me think I might be. I'm going to get a pregnancy test right away. Change 1. There have been a lot of messages and comments asking for an update. There have also been a lot of messages that remind me of comments. I'm not sure how they work, but I think they are also looking for an update. A new post will be made soon, but not soon enough. It will take a long time to figure out what's going on with this mess. A new post won't be up until at least a few weeks from now. I don't know when. If not weeks, I promise it will happen at some point. All of you have been so helpful to me. Thank you so much. Change 2. I have been thinking about whether to post an update or not since nothing was ever fixed. I chose to post it here in case someone is still looking for one. I'm sorry I didn't update early like I said I would. Soon after making that Reddit post, my kids and I talked to their mother about it. Things did not go well at all. Something about the thought that no one would believe her finally hit home. Because she cried so hard and said she was sorry, but she wouldn't explain herself or do anything else that would have made me feel better. We didn't talk to each other much for the next few weeks. I hoped she was giving it some thought, and I thought she would finally sit me down and explain herself. She was telling a big lie that got out of hand, so I thought she needed some time to think about it. Not at all. When I got home one night, she had overdosed and killed herself. I lost the love of my life, and I'll never know what she did wrong. I wish I could forget everything and go back in time. I really wanted to work through whatever mistakes she made. And now I feel terrible that I pushed her for an answer. Seeing my kids work so hard to keep me together after losing their mother was the worst part of this whole thing. In any case, tell your family you love them as soon as you can,